The FNAF movie has finally been released, and I, along with most of you, have already scoured the film for Easter eggs and secrets, hoping to catch something that the madman Scott Cawthon has hidden away for us to find. Some of these are fairly obvious, such as the "It's me" written on the mirror, which is an iconic line from the franchise as a whole, or the Sparky's restaurant, which refers to the popular hoax of there being a secret dog animatronic in the first game named Sparky. There are also some secrets that tell us about what the second movie is going to be about, such as the puppet's iconic music box playing in the credits, or when the distorted electronic voice from the minigames in FNAF 2 that slowly spells out the words "Come find me." This is most likely referring to either Charlie or William Afton, but that's not what I've been thinking about recently. I noticed something huge that's been hiding in plain sight the entire time, and I believe this could give us some insight into what the next movie could be about. The next movie will obviously be circled around the events of FNAF 2, but I believe there will also be something else happening. While Mike and Abby are off doing their own thing, I believe a certain character from the movie will be reliving her traumatizing past and bring forth the nightmare animatronics. That's right, Vanessa, daughter of William Afton, the police officer who was stabbed by her father and is now in a coma, will bring us Five Nights at Freddy's 4 in the sequel. And I have ample evidence to back this up. So without further ado, let's take a dive into this crazy theory and see what exactly lies in store for us. Before I begin, let's go ahead and recap everything that we'll need to understand for this theory. In the movie, we meet Vanessa when she arrives to check up on Mike one night while he is working. We don't know it at the time, but she does this because William Afton told her to, but we'll come back to that in a second. Over the course of the film, we learn that Vanessa has some sort of connection to Freddy Fazbear's, but she's really vague about what it is. The only thing she tells Mike is that she used to go there as a child, and that it was special to her.
Freddy's is on my beat. I like to stay well informed. Also, I really loved this place as a kid.
Sometime later, Mike finds out about the children possessing the suits, and here is where we get our first big clue. When Mike takes Abby back to Freddy's on the fourth night, we see Vanessa is already inside, staring at the photo of Spring Bonnie holding the hands of the children while she has an audio flashback of children saying, "We love the yellow rabbit." Then we hear a girl screaming. This is extremely important, so keep that in mind. Then we have the fort scene, and after that, we get some more insight when Vanessa and Mike go into the storage room. We get to learn of the spring lock suits there, but we also get two crucial lines from Vanessa here. The first one is when Mike is talking about how he's having dreams about when his brother was taken, and that they're more vivid, and that it almost feels like he can change the past. However, Vanessa cuts him off on that last part and finishes the sentence for him.
It's like I can almost
Change what happened?
This is massive, as it hints that she also has something that she's dreaming or has dreamed about, where she wishes she could change the past. The second line she delivers is when Mike asks who the heck she is, and she responds with,
"Who the hell are you?"
Someone who's trying to help.
This line is extremely powerful for two things. One, it proves that she knows what William Afton is planning to do, but second, it proves that she's been brainwashed. Well, sort of. She's aware that she's helping William get closer to his goal of killing them, and that it's wrong, but she also can't tell Mike about it because she's terrified of something. Keep that word in mind. Terrified. After this scene, things go back to normal until Abby touches Bonnie's guitar, and the thing short circuits right in her face. In the parking lot, as they're leaving, Mike asks Vanessa why she was terrified back in the storage room. That seemed to have struck a nerve, because Vanessa told Mike to stay in his lane, and that if he ever brought Abby back,
I will shoot you.
Yikes, talk about overreacting. Well, maybe to Mike, she was, but to us, this actually makes perfect sense. Vanessa had a moment of clarity right then, and was actually trying to warn Mike that if he brought Abby back, then something terrible was going to happen. And I mean, technically Mike listened. He didn't bring Abby back, but Golden Freddy did. Which I'm still confused how Corey the taxi driver saw Golden Freddy, but then when Golden Freddy took Abby to the pizzeria, he just disappeared in the thin air? Can he take on a physical form and then just disappear in the thin air? Who knows? That's not what I'm here to discuss. What I'm here to discuss is probably the most important scene for our theory, which is when Mike and Vanessa are talking in the police outpost after Mike gets injured from the animatronics. After Vanessa patched him up, Mike gets to talking about his dream and how Vanessa already knew about the bodies of the children being stuffed into the suits. She then reveals that William Afton, her father, will be coming for him. Now all this is important, but what really matters is when Mike asks for Vanessa to come with him to stop William. Vanessa gets a terrified look on her face and tells him that she can't and that she'll be no use to him if William is there. This further proves the point that she has been traumatized by him and brainwashed. But the most important detail for this entire theory comes when Mike asks this.
He really messed you up, didn't he?
After that, the camera pans to Vanessa, terrified, and the girl screaming from before can be heard. The scene ends after this, and the race to save Abby ensues. Mike electrocutes Freddy and Bonnie with his taser, and he stops Chica just in time to save Abby before she is spring-locked into the creepy doll animatronic from the storage closet from earlier. And yes, before you come at me in the comments, I know that this spring-locked suit is from the books. Anyway, Mike fends off the cupcake while running away, Abby hides from Foxy, Spring Bonnie shows up and kicks the piss out of Mike, and then Vanessa comes and rescues Abby. Guess she just had a change in heart about tagging along. Anyway, we all know what happens next. Vanessa stops William from killing Mike, which in turn gets her stabbed. This is very important, so remember that. Then, Mike tells Abby to draw a picture to make the children remember. She puts it up on the wall, and the spring lock failure happens. I cannot tell you how happy I was when this happened. I was literally smiling and laughing as William had the spring locks plunged into his body. By the way, if you didn't know, I went to the movie wearing my nightmare costume, so it was really cool to see him being murdered while wearing that thing. I also took a lot of pictures that day. I did not like the attention at all. But then again, I don't know what else I expected from that. Anyway, after delivering his iconic line and being dragged away, Mike, Abby, and Vanessa flee the building. And now we cut to the hospital, where we see Vanessa laying in a bed in a coma. Some of you might have thought that she was just asleep, but it's confirmed that she is in one when Mike is talking to her.
Vanessa, I don't know if you can hear any of this, but you were there for me and Abby when it mattered the most. So get better. And we'll be here when you wake up.
Why else would he say that unless she's in a coma? And so, with that, we have all the ingredients necessary to brew our theory of Vanessa being the key of bringing us FNAF 4 in the next movie. So let's go ahead and put the pieces together, shall we? First, let's take a look at how the events of FNAF 4 went. The crying child was bullied by his older brother for being scared of the animatronics. Michael put him in Fredbear's mouth, causing the bite of 83, which then led to William Afton tormenting Mike with sounds as revenge to put Mike in his place. Sounds that would cause him to hallucinate the nightmare animatronics. Also, keep in mind that the crying child was raced to a hospital where he was in a coma a short time before he died. And also, keep in mind that Mike was by his side as he passed away. Now, let's look at the movie. Vanessa is the child of William Afton. That checks out. Vanessa is in a coma in a hospital after being severely injured by a spring lock animatronic. That also checks out. Vanessa experienced something when she was a child because of William Afton, which made her terrified of him. This is where things get tricky. This is our most crucial detail, and yet it is the one that is the most convoluted. I'll talk about the flaws in this theory at the end of this video, so for right now, we're going to assume the best case scenario. And it is that during the 5 missing children incident, or when Mike's brother was taken, whichever one, William wanted to keep Vanessa away from the animatronics. He knew that Vanessa wouldn't be able to keep quiet about the whole thing. He knew that he had to tell her eventually, but he needed to make her understand where her loyalties lied. And so, William made his daughter terrified of the animatronics. He told her that they were evil, and showed her the scary endoskeletons that were inside of them. He showed her the spring locks and what they would do to her if she got near an animatronic. She didn't know at the time that Freddy in the game weren't spring lock animatronics, but she thought that they were. This made her terrified of the animatronics. But William wasn't satisfied. He was a careful man, a clever man, one who did not want any chance of his daughter finding out about the children. And so, he took one last precautionary measure and created the audio devices that induced the nightmares upon Vanessa. The simple blank animatronics that he placed in the house turned into the nightmare versions of the animatronics, striking fear and terror into poor little Vanessa. And every morning at 6 a.m. when her alarm went off, little girl Vanessa would scream as she awoke. After some time, when William had successfully broken down Vanessa, he told her of what he had done. But by this point, Vanessa didn't care. It was like she was shell-shocked. William had successfully gained control over her. Over the years, she grew close to the animatronics, realizing that the children's souls were still trapped inside. She slowly grew more friendly towards the main game, but she never fully got over her fear, especially of the spring-lock suits. Now, fast forward to the present day when she is in her coma. Comas are like a dreamlike state. You're alive, but you physically can't do anything. You can only think. And after reliving her traumatizing past right before she was stabbed by her father, who was wearing the Spring Bonnie costume, the only thing she can think about is her past. When she was speaking to Mike in the storage closet, she finished his sentence about how it felt like she could change things in her dreams. This shows us that something scarring did happen in her past. The nightmares, seeing the spring-lock suits, thinking that the main animatronics were after her. And now, the nightmare animatronics will be brought back to life inside her head to torment her once more. Wow, okay, I know that's a lot to digest, so let's take a little break and discuss some of the flaws with this theory. The main one being that our main evidence point of William scaring her the same way he did Michael in the game is all speculation. There's nothing in the movie that hints to this being true in any way. It's all speculation between the coma, screaming, and traumatizing past. However, the main reason why I think this theory could be true is that Scott has thought of this movie for the past 8 years. He's thrown out multiple scripts, trying to get this movie perfect. Everything in the movie has a purpose, and almost everything has multiple meanings, with some being hints about things not directly stated. So, in true FNAF fashion, we're left to guess about what exactly happened in Vanessa's past. For all I know, the next movie could start off with her just dying right away, and Mike is forced to seek answers about his brother being in one of the suits at a different location created by Henry. Who knows? Another flaw is that the movies aren't nearly one-to-one with the games. Sure, the movie heavily relies on the main elements of the games and books, but when it comes down to the story, things are noticeably different. Some characters from the franchise are absent, such as Michael Afton, the crying child, Elizabeth Afton, William's wife, and Henry. But then you realize that Michael Afton is kind of portrayed as Mike Schmidt in the movie, and that Garrett is portrayed as the crying child, or maybe not. Again, who knows? At the end of the day, we can only guess about what's to come for the next movie, and whatever it is, I'm super excited for it. But hey, that's just a theory. A movie oh wait, Matt Pat already says that. Well, it's still just a theory. So, I mean, yeah. Anyway, hey, you made it to the end. Thank you for watching. I have some other theories about this movie and the next movie, with one of them being the incorporation of Circus Baby and how Vanessa had a sister, Elizabeth, and she was scooped by her. And if you want to hear that theory, or any other theories I have for the next movie, let me know in the comments below. If you have your own theories, please do let me know. If there's some information that I'm unaware of, I could maybe do a revised and more accurate version of this video. Also, I'm not trying to copy Matt Pat. I just wanted to make a video about what I think could happen in the next movie. No hate from here. Just love. Anyway, I'll see y'all on the flip side. Have a good day and stay safe.